Welcome to the Trees and Lines podcast, where we discuss fresh perspectives on utility vegetation management with your hosts, Phil and Tej. Don't forget to follow along on LinkedIn for the latest news. Now, let's dive into this week's episode. Welcome to another episode of Trees and Lines from Trees and Utilities 2025. We have with us Dan Bridenstine. Did I say that right, Dan?
You sure did.
Yeah, good. And Dan's one of the speakers on the agenda here at the conference. So, Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'd like to hear about your talk.
Oh, of course.
You can reach an audience beyond the 1,450 people here.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. I'll just start out with a little pitch and a little plug for my presentation. It's about engaging the next generation, the future of arboriculture. So if you're a utility and you're listening to this, reach out. Have some outreach groups, go into the elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, reach out everywhere. Colleges, at that point, we're kind of a little bit late. We need them to be dreaming about chainsaws when they're young.
I like that.
That's my little plug there.
Yeah.
I'm a family man. I got to work with some of the best companies, which of course includes Iapetus.
I was super excited to hear this story.
Yeah. So I was just chatting with Tej, and in my pocket, I just happened to have a token from the Stone Brewery when we had a company party there in 2020, so 5 years ago.
Yes.
And I've got that little wooden drink token in my pocket. So had a lot of opportunity there, a lot of growth there, working in California and just getting to know some fantastic people. Got a great wife and kids and 3 boys, so they're wild.
Yeah.
And a hunting dog as well, so I'm wild too.
Yeah. And now you're at Rocky Mountain Power, right?
I am. I'm at Rocky Mountain Power. I transitioned from Atlas Field Services and went into a forester role right after that into Rocky Mountain
And how has
Power.
that transition been for you to go what I call like the buyer versus being a service provider?
It was a lot different than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
At first, when I took on the role as forester, I thought, okay, what is this going to look like? Am I going to be making demands of the crews? Am I going to be babysitting crews or anything like that? And it turned out to be the collaborative relationship I was hoping it would be.
Tell us a little bit about Rocky Mountain in terms of size, footprint, just overall scope and responsibility.
Oh, of course. So for me, I'm the central forester. And so my area is from Centerville, Utah to South Salt Lake, Sandy area. So basically the Salt Lake Valley, and then to the west into Tooele, all in Utah. So I'm a single state forester. We have other foresters within the company that take care of Idaho, Wyoming, southern Utah. But I love having a nice, dense area because I can drive from one end of my area to the other in 2 hours.
Oh, very cool.
Which is great.
Okay. Do you interface in terms of strategy and just broad sharing of information with your peers in the different regions?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, building bridges is what I'm all about. And that's kind of what my hope is for this conference as well, is to continue to build bridges.
Yep.
Because that's what we need. Bridges with municipalities. I'm frequently having, what do we call them, home meetings or town halls.
Yep.
Where we just bring people in and let them ask us questions.
Yep.
Answer any question and hear people out. Because I think the customers that are dissatisfied with what we do are just a little uneducated.
Yep.
And so as we reach out and say, hey, the reason I'm pruning that tree is not because I hate trees. I love trees.
Yeah.
The reason I'm pruning that is to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And here's how and here's why. And it's very well received.
I've been coming to this conference for the last 3 or 4 years. I've really seen and heard a shift in the different utilities and their level of engagement with the customer. I feel like there's been a greater understanding and commitment to the end user. But this industry's been around for so long, and there just seems to be this greater focus on that, which I think is the right thing to do. But why do you think there's all of a sudden this, I don't want to say all of a sudden, but it feels like all of a sudden, this priority for the customer?
Well, I think it's because there was a lot of churning in the pond when we had so many wildfires.
Yeah.
And it was publicized and it was in the news.
Yeah.
It was at the forefront of everyone's mind.
That's fair.
And the utility company became the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
And we were, I guess, as a utility, it's difficult because your customer often doesn't have another choice.
Yes.
If they want lights, they go with you. And so customer service in the past was kind of implied. Like, they turn on their lights, the lights come on, that's our job.
Yeah.
But now we're starting to understand that people want more.
They do.
They want a connection.
Yep.
They don't want a product, they want a service.
So your major interface with your customer is the tree crew. And probably
That is.
more than any other part of your company.
Yes.
Do you do anything to make sure that relationship between the tree crew and the customer is effective and represents you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm frequently doing trainings with the contractors. I work with them to make sure that they're all certified arborists. And so I let them know, look, I will study with you. I will proctor your exams. I will make sure that you have the resources necessary so that you can get the certifications, the knowledge, the expertise to stand with confidence and to talk with our customers in a way that is collaborative and to understand the true partnership that we have, because it's a symbiotic relationship. And I feel like as we're having that collaboration and we're opening that dialogue, we're getting a lot more feedback from the tree crews because they see what we don't see as a utility.
Talk to us a little bit about, there's always a little bit of, especially with people who don't come from the industry, they hear a lot of terms. There's arborist, there's utility arborist, there's forester. Help us understand in a very simple way how you view those different roles and where they sit in, I don't want to say the pecking order, but like as somebody who's thinking about a career in the space, like what are they aspiring to be? What's like the top dog job?
Oh, absolutely. So for me, whenever I do anything, I'm all in. I was farm raised, so that's just how I am.
Yep.
And so when you start out working in the tree industry, then you would be either a groundsman or just a helper, assistant.
Yep.
Basically, you're going to be the person that drags the brush, and you're going to learn from there and move up.
Yep.
And from there, that's when you start the education process of, I want to be a certified arborist. So the International Society of Arboriculture, they certify arborists. They require a certain amount of experience.
Yep.
And then they take a test to make sure that you understand the safety aspect, tree biology, soils, a whole slew of topics.
Okay.
And then you become a certified arborist.
Yep.
From that, you then are able to specialize. And so I put in 2,000 hours is the requirement to become a utility specialist certified arborist.
Okay.
That also has a test, an exam.
Yep.
And that I took that exam when I was with Atlas.
Okay.
So that was great.
Okay.
And then since I worked with the municipalities,
Yep.
I also took the municipal specialist, which they've just renamed, the Urban Forest Professional certification.
Yep.
Which requires the same 2,000 hours working with municipalities.
Yep.
And then after that point, they have the board certified master arborist, which I took just 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then, so now I'm a board certified master arborist. And then they have tree risk assessment qualified certification, which is that you understand how to assess tree risk.
Okay.
Which I also took that. So all of that really boils down to, in the tree industry, there is a massive amount of information, a massive amount of pathways you can take.
Yep.
As an arborist, being a utility specialist is, I understand the relationship between trees and power lines. And basically, it's a stick, no-touch wire.
Right.
And it's just making sure that I understand the growth habits of the trees.
Yep.
And the science.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of science in what we do.
Yep.
And so when people come in and they think, oh, you just have a chainsaw and you're just cutting whatever you want and doing this and that, absolutely untrue. Every cut we make is planned out, well thought out for the long-term health of that tree, even if it's close to the power line.
Oh, very cool.
So tell me, this is sort of interesting, the story you just told about your personal development progression. That's a pretty impressive message to people that, there is a career path. or the way to develop, so forth. But how do you get a third grader to dream about chainsaws? Dream about dragging brush in the rain and snow? How do you put... Tell us the message.
The message is all about the connection, to connection with the forest, with our natural resources. And also it's fun to, I did a demonstration, I did a chainsaw carving for a school. They loved it. I had 3 students that were very well behaved, and they were predetermined by the teacher before. I gave them all safety vests and hard hats and safety glasses that they got to keep, and I did a chainsaw carving. Now, I'm not great at chainsaw carvings. That was my 3rd carving I'd ever done. So I did a pumpkin, which
that's
is
pretty good.
Really easy, and I just put a nail at the top to make the stem for it.
That doesn't sound easy. Yeah.
And the students, they just loved it.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic showing of here's the safety.
Yeah.
I walked them through every step. And before I even brought out the saw, I showed them here's the safety line. And this is where your job comes in. Anybody crosses the line, you need to get loud.
Yeah.
And you need to let us know. If you walk by a tree crew, you're going to hear them yelling at each other.
Yes.
It's 3-way communication, which I use in all my relationships, which is very helpful.
Yes.
You send the message, and then you wait to make sure that they receive the appropriate message, and they receive it and send it back to you. So if you have a branch and you're ready to drop it, then you're going to say something like headache, and then you wait. You don't let that branch go.
Yeah.
And then down low, if the guy's not paying attention, not saying anything, you're going to keep yelling at him.
Yeah.
And you're yelling because you like him.
Yeah.
You don't want to hit him with the branch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then they'll respond and they'll say, send it, we're all clear. And then you send that limb down.
Yeah.
And so that 3-way communication, as I've said, I've adapted that. And so when I'm in the classroom setting, I'll say, all right, chainsaws. Chainsaws are tools.
Yes.
What are chainsaws?
Yes.
And then the classroom has to tell me their tools. And until they can tell me their tools, we don't move on.
Yeah.
Because you have to have the understanding first before you move on. That's what I love about the tree industry.
Well, Dan, I'll tell you this. First of all, congrats on all your success. Love watching you be prosperous. I think you're a fantastic ambassador for this industry, this sector. Sounds like you're doing all the things to, activate and educate a variety of people in this industry. So continued success. Love watching it. Love seeing it. Love the story. Love that our paths crossed at some point in your career. And again, thanks for making time today. And enjoy the rest of the conference.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Continue, my friend.
Good seeing you.
Dan, it's been good meeting you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks for joining us today. Follow us on LinkedIn for updates and to tune in again to the Trees and Lines podcast.